Welcome to the first episode of Fully Involved, the official podcast of Umatilla County Fire District 1. My name is Scott Stanton. I'm the fire chief for the fire district, and we're excited to bring you these podcasts to tell you a little bit about who we are, what we do, why we do it. So grab a chair, grab a cup of coffee, whatever you need, and we're going to get going. I'm not doing this alone today. I have a co-host. Nick Oatley's with us, the district's logistics manager, and we're going to kind of go through this episode about why we're doing podcasts, what the fire district does and how we do a little bit of it, and kind of some current updates of what we got going on in the district. So we're excited about doing that.
Yeah.
Good morning, Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. I'm excited to take a look closer at UCFD 1 and kind of show the public everything that we're working on here.
Chief, I'm not a Hermiston resident. I'm originally from Ohio. And so moving here, I didn't have a lot of fire background, but I know somebody like yourself has really, created an entire career in Eastern Oregon for firefighting and EMS. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about it, your history and how that all started?
Well, yeah, for me, it started in 1986, I guess, as a volunteer where I grew up in Pilot Rock, and I came here to Hermiston in 1995. And so I've been around for about, 39 years, and just worked up through the ranks here. And I've just kind of been a sponge, I guess. I've soaked up everything I could, whether it was being on the hazmat team that we have here, doing wildland stuff with the Forest Service incident management teams, and just everything we did here in district, I just soaked it up really. So that's kind of the deal, I guess. I just love the career, love the difference, the people we get to meet and work with, and that's kind of my deal, I guess.
Do you still get out there and jump on a fire? Have you got a fire?
I was on one fire this year. Battalion Chief Hodge and I were on what we call our upstaff rig. We got a small grant from the state fire marshal's office for upstaffing during summer season, because that's our busiest season with the wildland fires. And we happened to be on a brush engine, and we got a fire, and it was a good working fire. And we were first on scene, and we got to go right, along the flanks and pinch the head of the fire off. It was awesome. I don't know if I want to do it every day, where I'm almost 59 now, but it's a great career. Some of the most amazing stuff you ever do that I ever did, deliver a baby in the field. It's pretty awesome. It's scary, but it's pretty awesome.
For anybody that's listening that might be unfamiliar with what we do as a fire district and ambulance service, can you kind of give an overview to anybody about everything we do here? Yeah.
So Umatilla County Fire District 1, as you know, we took the Stanfield Fire District and the Hermiston Fire District, and we basically consolidated them back by vote of the public in 2016. So we're coming up on a 10-year anniversary, actually, next July, and so we're excited about that. Yeah. And that's how we were formed. But we still do the same things that the old Hermiston Stanfield Fire District did. We provide fire services, right, for structure fires, car fires, wildland fires, of course. And then we have run the ambulance service for the West County here in Umatilla County. We have the hazmat team, which is a regionally sponsored team for the state, 6.5 counties. We do fire prevention. We have mobile integrated healthcare. And for those who don't know, that's Jessica Markham, our community paramedic. It's about providing the best care we can for the folks out there.
Well, Chief, I feel honored to be sitting here with you on the first episode of Fully Involved, but it's got me thinking, what made you want to start your own podcast? Where'd that idea come from?
Well, started off going, how do we get more information to our folks, right? I know that we do a lot of stuff here, and they don't necessarily know how we do it or why we do it. Or I found this podcast called Barn Talk, and it's this father and son, and they're just talking about farming and that stuff, and raising hogs and raising beef and corn, and they bring on guests that are other farmers or they're equipment dealers, whatever. They're talking about the agricultural industry, and I thought, man, we should do that, so we can just sit down, have a chat, and talk about what we're doing here, why we do it, how we do it, and maybe every month we have someone different. And so that's kind of where I got the idea, was Barn Talk.
What are some topics that you think people out in the community are going to be excited to listen?
I think there's lots of topics, whether it's about leadership, about how we provide emergency medical services or fire protection services, or why we have a fire prevention division, right? What do our fire marshals do? Stuff like that. But I think there are also some other topics we can broach like with maybe even people outside the fire district, such as like leadership concepts or our coordination with, say, the hospital, stuff like that. So I think there's going to be lots of topics that you folks out in the community maybe want to hear about.
Why'd you settle on the name Fully Involved?
Well, I had some help with that, but fully involved, you can look at it a couple ways. If you're fully involved, meaning kind of you're fully committed, maybe. What we use it for in the fire services, at least in my career and experiences, when you go to a structure fire, if everything's on fire, we tell dispatch in our size up, I've arrived to such and such a place, fully involved, meaning there's fire out all the windows, it's all on fire.
Yeah.
And for me, it's kind of a level of commitment or dedication when you play on the words, fully involved. And what a great way to look at the inside details of what we're doing here at the fire district.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really cool is how we're, still expanding, right? We just hired a bunch of new firefighters, 12 to be exact, earlier this year. And we have another grant coming up, right? Another opportunity for people to join the
We
department.
do. For those that don't know, we received a big FEMA grant, 18 months ago maybe now, and it was for $6.9 million to hire 16 new firefighters. What that's going to do is when we get them all trained and we can mix them with the people we have, we're going to be able to open up a third station full-time, 24/7. So we hired 8, and we had some replacement folks, and that's why that first one was 12. So, and those folks are out of the academy, they're online. Most have completed their medical field training portion, and they're into the fire training portion. And then as they get to the end of the winter time, they'll go through what we call their pumper operator, 2-week academy, and where they can pump the engines, per se. And then they'll be off probation by, I think by July. So right now, we just had an open advertisement for the other new positions to fulfill that grant. And so we had 43 people that end up coming to our assessment centers. We're bringing, I think, 18 back to the chief's interviews. So they'll be in the academy starting in April. And then we have the apprenticeship program, which is awesome. It's through the Bureau of Labor and Industries at the state and through the state union folks for fire. And then we got 5 positions fully funded by a grant for 2 years, where it's looking for those people that may not think that the fire service could be a career for them.
So can anybody apply to something like that, or do you already have to have your degree in fire?
Nope. It pretty much anybody can. You basically just have to have a
Can I
valid.
apply for it?
Yeah, you could.
I
apply
can
for
do
it.
something like that?
Yeah, maybe if you think you could.
I mean,
I
I
don't know.
give
With
it
a
a
voice
try.
like yours, when you got a voice like yours, a radio voice, I don't know.
oh, thank you, Chief.
So, but yeah, so we have those 5 positions, and you got to have like either a high school diploma or GED, valid driver license, no criminal history, and we'll train you to be an EMT and to be a firefighter over those 2-year period of time. And it's just like going into a apprenticeship for a plumber or a carpenter or anything like that. You start out at a certain scale of wage for the first year, and you bump up a little bit for the second year, and hopefully the fire district will have some opportunity to maybe hire those folks onto the full-time spot here. So they're going to go through the academy just like those other folks will.
So, I mean, it really sounds like as a whole, our whole, UCFD one is expanding. And I know that we've been working on stations here and there. Do we have any updates on the renovations that we have down at Station 21 on First Street?
Obviously, it's our last station to work on, and we've been at this about 4 years now, or 3.5 years with all the station work.
Yeah.
And we started it in December, and it looks like it'll be done maybe February. We hope to maybe move in into February. That's good news, and it's going along well.
Can the public kind of expect to have, a day to come out and see it? I mean, I'm excited to see the station myself. I haven't even walked in there since, early last year.
Yeah, once we kind of get moved in and settled in, definitely the plan is to have an open house. Allow the public to come in and see what their tax dollars have built and redone. The station is fairly old. The main part of the station was built in 1971, and so
That's not that long ago.
no, just a little bit, a couple
Yeah.
minutes ago. So, but we're excited of all the updates we've done throughout it to make it a better spot to work out of for everybody, whether it's the chiefs or the line folks, the firefighters themselves, paramedics. So we're excited to see it be done, and they're doing some casework now. That means all the cabinets and stuff. and some flooring, and that's kind of where they're at.
So with us hopefully moving back into Station 21 here in a couple months, how is that going to affect our response time for the community members of Hermiston, Stanfield, and everywhere we serve?
I think the biggest part is just getting back into the station, because once we had to move out, the hospital was gracious enough to let us use a house over by the hospital, and we had to put people out to our substations. So getting back in the station, the bulk of our calls are still in the city limits of Hermiston. So they're going to be right there, more people in town to serve those calls. So that's the first big thing. The second part is what we've done at all of 4 out of our 5 stations is we put in what we call a station alerting system. We've never had that before. And it's been at the big cities a long time. We just kind of been behind the times a little bit.
We're a big city.
Yeah, well, yeah, for Umatilla County maybe.
Yeah.
And so that's going to help notify our folks. Dispatch is involved with that, and it's going to allow us to get our folks notified in a more efficient manner, I believe, and so they can get out the door and provide service to the citizens.
Is that, with this new tone out system, what does that kind of do for those that might not understand what that means?
It's a combination of audio and visual effects throughout the station. So it could be a strobe light. If you're out in the bays and the engines are running or something, you maybe can't quite hear the speakers well, but you can see that light flashing maybe. So it's definitely that combination of audio and visual cues to let you know, hey, we got a call.
So if, for example, if I was working the medic unit on a specific day and in my dorm room, I could kind of set my dorm room to be on that medic unit so that if somebody else got toned out for a fire, I'm still not having to wake up for their calls.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Sleep deprivation for firefighters, we work at least 24 hours at a time, sometimes longer, And so sleep deprivation has been, the data shows it's horribly bad for our health. And so what this system will help to do that is, because right now, everybody in the whole district gets woken up for a call. Medical, doesn't matter. What this is going to do will be not just down to each station, but down to each room. So far, if it's a night call, so maybe the 2 people get woke up on the ambulance to go on a call, and the bedrooms where the engine crew or the battalion chief sleep, they won't get woke up. And dispatch is there to make sure we get the right people woke up or the right people respond at the right time. So
that's amazing.
It's going to be a good thing for the health of our folks.
You could say that we're fully involved.
I would say we're fully involved in taking care of our people,
Yeah.
and that means whether we're taking care of our community members through the level of emergency medical and fire services and rescue and hazmat, we're also taking care of our people internally. Because if we don't have healthy firefighter medics and paramedics, and they got to be healthy to take care of the folks on the call. So it's kind of a win-win, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we couldn't have done it without the community. Obviously, all their tax dollars being put to use to better the health of our firefighters so that we can take care of them.
Yeah, it all starts with the community members, right? It surely does, with passing the bond measure and just supporting us, to get all that stuff done. It sure does.
Well, Chief, I know it's that time of year where we kind of get involved with the community with a lot of events around the holiday season. Is there anything that our community members can do to kind of get involved with us?
Obviously, there's the Christmas Express coming up, and we try to help the Hermiston Police Department with that. It's a big event that's been around for, I want to say, 40, 50 years now in Hermiston. I think Chief Bob Shannon started, so it's pretty awesome to help that and help families during Christmas time. And then we do stuff throughout the year, of course. We want to be involved with the community, and so that's a big deal for us.
So, I know I see sometimes on Facebook that our firefighters are out at the schools, maybe showing them around ambulances or the fire truck. Is that just something that we kind of...
Yeah, I know we obviously host tours, usually at the downtown station. Of course, over the last about 11 months, it's been under construction, but we've done it in Stanfield too, at that station. The schools will bring in grade school kids, kindergarten kids, Head Starts come in. We also will take engines and ambulances. We'll take our crews to the schools as well, whether that's at Head Start or a grade school. We'll have our folks talk about fire safety, and really what we're trying to do is introduce the kids to see us, like if as a fire, in our big turnouts and SCBAs, which are our breathing apparatus, so they're not scared of us. Because we don't want a kid to hide in a closet or get under a bed that just makes it harder to try to rescue them if they're in a house fire. So we're trying to get them used to what we might look like, not just like you and I sitting here. We obviously have Gretchen Erickson is our public educator. She's in the schools, and it's just a great thing. So yeah, we're always looking if people want to, you can get a hold of us through social media if you want a station tour or set something up to maybe be in your school for Hermiston and Stanfield. Yeah, we'd love to do that stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely better to, meet them before you need them. Right?
Yeah, it's always nice to meet people when it's not an emergency situation, for sure.
People are definitely not going to call us on their best day.
For sure.
Well, Chief, I feel honored to be sitting here. I'm fully involved with you, but I know that you kind of have some great guests upcoming for your podcast you got going on here. What can I look forward to seeing?
Yeah, so I think next month we're going to try to get the Fire Marshal, Scott Goff, here, and we're going to, obviously with the holiday season upon us, we're going to talk about holiday safety and kind of talk about, with Scott, what the Fire Prevention Division does. And he has a deputy fire marshal there, and he's got Gretchen as our part-time public educator. And so, yeah, we're kind of slate to bring in Jessica Markham, our community paramedic. And that's called Mobile Integrated Healthcare or Community Paramedicine.
And she was just honored on a national scale, right?
She was. We're so proud of Jess. She's one of, I believe 5 community paramedics that were recognized on a national level.
Wow.
We were able to get her back to Indianapolis, Indiana to collect that award.
Yeah.
And she does some great things in the community, and we're proud of her. So
yeah,
it's pretty awesome to see that reward.
That'll be a really cool episode to kind of hear her end.
Yeah, it'll be excited to see her. And then we got some stuff lined up throughout the rest of winter and spring. We could be talking to probably some of our training division folks one time, and even got some ideas for some other folks to come in and talk. So lots of great stuff to talk about.
That's awesome.
Cool. So if you're out there, you might be wondering, how do we see some of this stuff? How do we find out more information? Well, Nick, tell us a little bit. Where can people come find this stuff?
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel, Fire District 1, that they can subscribe to. I think we're also putting this over on Spotify. There'll definitely be some clips over on Instagram too. And then you're probably seeing this on Facebook if you're seeing it anywhere. So really anywhere that you listen or, watch a podcast, you'll be able to find me and you sit here or whatever other guests you have on Fully Involved.
Yeah, it's awesome. We, like I say, find us and subscribe to it, like it for us. That helps us to get the word out. Share it. Yeah, it's amazing how much in the last just 10 years what social media has done to watch it.
And I think it'd be really cool to hear from the public what they want to know about, right?
Yeah. If there's certain topics, let us know. If there's something that is keen for you to understand a little bit better what we do or how we do something or why. Yeah, we'd love to hear from the public, obviously. So if you do have those questions, let us know. So we're about ready to wrap things up, Nick.
Yeah.
It's been a good morning.
Yeah, I think so. I'm happy to be here, Chief.
Yeah,
Thanks for asking me to be on the first episode.
Thank you for being my co-host today. I just want to tell everybody out there, thanks for listening to the first episode of Fully Involved. And until next time, stay safe, stay informed.